Good evening, Fernwood. It is your nifty neighbor Neil, and it's time for us to have a visit with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 192 from December 28th, 1976. Let's take a look at the events of yesterday's episode. Charlie and Loretta were driving home after finally being reunited after Charlie went out on his adventure to get a testicle transplant. They couldn't hold off of each other, so they stopped on the road and had some fun. Mary was having a little less fun as she was trying to find something that she had hidden inside of a box of Fruit Loops. Heather comes in bearing the mail, which reveals a bounced check that Tom had written, and Heather herself revealed that she found the survey that Mary secreted away. Mary tried to explain some of the things that were in the survey, but it seemed like Heather knew what was going on, and Mary seemed surprised to realize that Heather had thoughts about sex herself. Next door at the Gimbles, Patty tries to ask Garth what is going on with his day, which escalates needlessly to a brutal beating, and as Patty is getting up from this beating, Mary stops by for a visit, probably because she heard things that were going on. Mary seems to hint and joke that Patty really needs help, but Patty does really need help. Next door at the Shumways, Martha is really glad to have George back, although George seems intent on taking all of his worldly possessions and giving them up to the Bokazidi cult. George's friend tries to explain divesting all of your worldly possessions, and Martha says, take it all, you can have everything that I own except for my love for George. And then at last, a desperate Tom calls out for a short-term loan for which he is rejected. He is feeling as low as we have seen him lately. Mary comes in to ask him about the bounced check, but hides it when she sees his condition. She goes to comfort him, and he notices that there is something in her chest. He denies that anything important is going on as Grandpa enters. Grandpa seems to have an idea of what is happening, offers Mary some comfort, and they both note that the skywriter in Fernwood has written the word foreplay. That's all I've got to recount from yesterday's episode, everyone. Let's get started.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Oh, Wanda. Oh, Wanda. Who would have believed that things would have worked out so well for two ex-Fernwood psychiatric patients?
Ripley?
Oh, Wanda, that's funny. I mean, that's really funny. I never noticed you had a sense of humor before.
Well, I go through phases, actually. I had hoped Merle would bring me back to my Doris Day phase.
She comes from Ohio, too, you know. Yep.
But now I'm not so sure. I feel more like I'm slipping back into my Eve Arden phase. Mary, what I'm simply trying to say is that
Wanda,
I don't...
You're lisping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I am. It always happens to me when I get terribly upset. See, it started in the 6th grade when Sister Mary Louise tried to... Oh, Mary, I have sinned with a capital S. I spent my wedding night with a woman.
Don't tell me who.
Tippy Toes.
I'm glad you told me. I'm glad you told me. It's good for me to know. You told me, and I didn't want to know. Tippy Toes. She's making everyone on the block. I better go call Ma. She'll probably be next. On second thought,
Well, Mary, we didn't actually do anything. See, we just talked about it. And, well, I have thought about it a lot.
I do not believe this. I mean, I can believe men doing it, you know, with each other, but women... So, how do you think you do it?
Well, first...
No, I changed my mind. Don't tell me, okay? Wanda, have you considered washing your mouth out with soap?
Oh, but Mary, I enjoy thinking about it. Really, I do. And actually, I know absolutely that I have no guilt feelings about it.
Oh, Wanda, wait. You just wait. You will be walking along the street, you will be sitting in a train station somewhere, and suddenly, with such a smack from behind, you'll be hit by the guilties.
What?
Yes, Wanda, you just trust me. It's called delayed guilt. All the guilties will be sent up to the front lines, just not on schedule, that's all.
Mary, you know you may be right. Yes, because I already must be feeling something since I am lisping.
It's the guilties, Wanda. I mean, they are beginning to run amok, and only God knows what they're going to decide to do next. I mean, they do have little minds of their own, you know. I mean, this lisp thing, this is just the beginning. I mean, you could lose control of all your bodily functions. Dr. Gilroy, the plant psychologist, the old one, you remember him?
Yeah.
He is the perfect person. If anyone can ever bring out guilt in anyone, he can do it.
And congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
When exactly did this lisp begin?
This morning, sipping Sanka with Mary.
I see. And do you have any clues as to what caused it?
Oh, well, actually, I don't know how to say this.
Now, Mrs. Jeter. Or may I call you Wanda?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, go ahead.
You mustn't be afraid to say anything to me. As psychologist of Fernwood's largest plant for 10 years, I've heard about every problem there is. Nothing can shock me anymore. Absolutely nothing.
Well, then, it all began as a child.
What a wonderful clue, Wanda. You know, before I had my private practice, I used to treat blue-collar workers. They simply do not understand the importance of psychological help. Oh, they'll accept it if it's provided free to them, sure, but that's it. However, you upper-class people, and I hope you'll introduce me to your more important friends.
Oh, certainly.
You upper-class people understand that a lisp almost invariably begins in childhood.
Right. With me, it was my 6th grade teacher, Sister Mary Louise.
Sister Mary Louise. Yeah. A power figure, black robes, the sound of music.
She always used to criticize my stencils. See, we used to stencil crustaceans for arts and crafts. Yeah, you know, shrimp, shellfish, stuff like that.
But, of course, you don't blame the church.
Oh, no, of course not. But see, ever since then, whenever I get into an anxious situation with another woman...
What do you mean, anxious?
Oh, you know, authoritarian, hostile, sexual.
And you were in a sexual situation with another woman recently?
Somehow I knew you wouldn't ask about the hostile, authoritative part.
But come on, Wanda. I can't be shocked. I'm a psychologist.
Well, I just don't know how I'm going to live with myself now, let alone with my husband.
Why don't you tell me exactly what happened?
Well, it all began so innocently. See, I was so comfortable just sitting there and talking to her.
That's perfectly understandable, Wanda. A relationship with a member of the same sex is free of all the role-playing that so often complicates a heterosexual exchange.
Do you really mean that, Doctor?
Of course.
Then my relationship with this other woman was perfectly all right?
Well, I don't make moral judgments, of course, but in terms of the human condition, perfectly all right.
Oh, Doctor, I feel so much better. Oh. But, you know, I should have known it would lead to something because I went to see her in my trousseau negligee.
Trousseau?
Yeah, it was my wedding night.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you spent your wedding night in the arms of another woman?
Oh, no, not the whole night. I was with my husband part of the time and until he left on business.
I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Now, you mean to tell me the new wife of the new mayor of Fernwood turned dyke on her wedding night?
But I told you I didn't really do it. I just lusted in my heart.
I'm sorry, Wanda, maybe it's just me, but I can only go so far with a case before I just want to take a brain smear and send it to a lab. I mean, a little homosexuality, okay, but on your wedding night? That is so ugly. That is so sick.
Sick? But... Sick. Doctor, my lisp is gone.
I cured you?
Yes, you did it. You see, always before, my lisp has been based on my feelings of inferiority and disorientation, but I can always get myself back together whenever I meet someone who's much more messed up than I could ever possibly be. Oh, thank you, Doctor. I can't tell you how you've helped me. Bye now.
I'm glad you called me today, Martha. And I'm confident that as your minister, I can help you with your religious problem.
Well, it is not exactly my religious problem.
Oh, whose then?
It's George's.
Oh, yes, I'm so glad that he's back again. How is he?
He converted while he was away.
Oh, you mean he changed? Well, a man is bound to change that many months away from home.
Oh, yes, he certainly has changed. He has found a new religion.
Oh, you mean he's following our leader's example and has been born again? It's odd, though. I wouldn't have thought George the type to be a born-again Christian.
He isn't. And he isn't the type to sing and dance and chant and wear a ponytail and sell those plastic flowers.
No, he certainly isn't that.
But he is. He is doing all that. He has joined the Bogus Edie. His friend tried to convert me, and they even asked the paper boy for a donation, which is just the same as asking him for his Christmas present back again. George taught me my own personal chant, but it took me 3 weeks to learn all those CB handles, and now I can't remember I can't even remember the name of what I'm supposed to remember.
Mantra, I believe they call it.
Oh, yes, mantra. And I can't pronounce George's new name. Now, it sounds like a fruit. It's not a pineapple. Oh, it sounds like banana.
Oh, now, Martha, I'm sure everything is going to be fine. Now, I've known George for over 30 years and been his religious counselor. George just doesn't have the personality for one of these cults.
But you haven't seen him.
But I don't need to. I have faith in George's abiding faith. I'm sure his is just an intellectual fascination with this organization.
George? Intellectual?
Martha, believe me, I have seen many lost souls in my time, and trust me when I say George is definitely not one of them. Of course, there's always the possibility that even the most loyal sheep may wander from the flock.
Well, what am I going to do?
Well, I do think that there is a man that can help. His specialty is in deprogramming victims of brainwashing. Bogus ZT will be a piece of cake to a man who has brought back successfully apparently hopeless victims of secret societies, religious cults, the CIA, FBI, NASA, all 3 television networks. I'll have my secretary phone you with his name and number.
So you think he's going to be all right?
Share in my faith, Martha, and the good Lord will bring George back to you. And if he doesn't, you can always have George put in that loony bin where Mary was.
Well, see, I think the Eldorado is a real fine-looking car. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The problem is, see, I don't want to appear showy or nothing like that, but then on the other hand, I feel like the people of Fernwood kind of expect something by way of style from the new mayor. So
yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's an image problem, you know.
Right.
I got the same problem. You're not the only one, you know. I got the same problem with my upward mobility, you know.
Well, I think a man pays a certain price for his success, you know?
Al, let us have 2 more tabs,
Yeah.
huh? And bring me the check, okay?
Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome. Listen, Merle, what I wanted to talk to you about is that Condos for Christ Fund. Is that still alive, huh?
What, do you want to make a donation?
No. I was just interested.
No, I know. That's real Christian of you to ask about it, Tom, especially during this season, you know, the holiday season and everything. But The fact is, the condos collapsed about, well, some time ago. The more I think about it, I think the Seville is the one for me.
Yeah, thanks, Al, yeah.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, thanks. Here,
That's
here you
nice.
go. Listen, what I really wanted to talk to you about was money.
What, do you need money or something? You tell him
No,
you need money.
no, it's not that. It's just what you might call, Merle, a temporary shortage, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
if
know.
you got a little spare money I could borrow, why?
Right now, most of my loose change is going in this here Seville. But, if you're serious about it, what I'd do if I was you is go to one of them charitable organizations. Specifically, I'm talking about your Salvation Army, your Catholic charities, that their Benign Berith. They all have real good ratings, according to this newsletter I get. This time of year, God is pretty much in the chips, as they say.
Merle, look, instead of the Seville, hey, listen to me. Instead of the Seville,
Excuse me.
how about if I put you into an RV? I can get you a real good deal on one.
Right at this stage, I don't think it's right for me.
Well, how about the Coupe de Ville instead? I mean, it's a few thou cheaper. No, it's a lot better car, and it's bigger. And
I know. No, but see, the problem there is it's too big. Wanda can't handle a big car like that. You understand? I think it's going to have to be the Seville when you really get down to it. What time we got here? Yeah, I got a split. My gosh. I'm going to put up that new Jimmy Joe Memorial wallpaper today over at my office. Gosh, I hope you get a chance to see that. What they got there is they got this flying cherubs with them little steel glasses, brandishing the jawbone of an ass. It's beautiful. So when you get a chance, get over there and take a look-see, okay? All right? Here.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Will you say hi to Mary for me?
Yeah.
And let me know how you're doing with your problem, because I'm interested, really. Okay? Take it easy. We see you.
So, you about ready?
Yeah.
It's 2 tabs, 80 cents.
80 cents, yeah. I seem to be out of cash, I think. Yeah, my gosh, I am. Here, you take master charge, don't you? And give yourself a 20-cent tip.
Come on, Loretta. Come on, honey.
Darling, I gotta finish my regular brushing. I'm coming.
Loretta, this massaging finger shower nozzle is almost as sexy as you are. Now, with the combination of the two of you...
Well, hon, I do have the friction pour le bain already all over my tingling little body, but it didn't cause me to tingle quite as much as last night in the back seat of the car.
Wouldn't you like to get double clean, huh? Wouldn't you? I got a husband waiting in the shower just itching to soap down your gorgeous little body.
Well, I suppose a splash of you is better than a splash of Jean Naté. So get ready, Tiger Man.
Cold? I turned it down just for you. Here, I'll turn it up hotter. I don't mind.
This is just like that time in the bathtub, with Mr. Bubbles.
I told you then that you're a better bathing companion than any rubber ducky I ever had.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, I got an inspiration.
For song, honey?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Oh, this thing's falling off. All right, now, let's see. I was a dry girl, just a dying lonely flower. Then you kissed me, brought me back alive. Now I'm shaking in the shower, oh, I'm shaking in the shower. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a good one. Shaking in the shower.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, Charlie, there is fun after 22.
Loretta, Billie Jean, Suzanne, Antoinette, Bowers, McCandless, Haggers. I got something for you.
Really? In the shower?
Well, they do it all the time in the movies, honey. Why not us?
Ooh!
Did you starting to steam up in here.
Wait a minute. Charlie, where? Oh, ooh, here you are. Ooh. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I'll tell you something, Charlie. I just want you to know, darling, that you are the fierce, most fantabulous, loving man in all of the Lord's green earth. I'll tell you, I am just plumb completely loved out.
All loved out.
Not maybe all loved out. I mean, least as loved out as the last time we did it.
I mean, last time.
That's precise and exactly what I mean. You know what, Charlie? I bet if they had a contest, you know, between all the couples in the whole U.S. of A, that we would come in #1 in making love and having Roman candles and cherry bombs and everything going off.
That is a lovely, nice collection of words to hear. And if I had the bodily strength, I would come over there and I would give you such a kiss.
Oh, Charlie, come on. You mean to tell me you don't have the energy to just come over and give me one little old peck?
I'll make a deal with you. You wait 2.5 minutes, and I'll come over and I'll do more than that.
Woo! I am a fierce loved woman. I can't move.
I can't move.
It's probably not important, you know.
All the important things in my life are right here, being here with you.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Charlie,
Yeah?
you know, I bet if somebody's gonna let it ring that many times, it might be important. Maybe we better answer it.
Yes, ma'am. Your wish is my do it. Hello. Yeah. Wait a minute, are you calling the right man?
Who is it, baby boy?
It's a recording studio in Dayton, honey. Yeah, well, yeah, my wife is a singing star, yeah, but we didn't make any date for any recording session. Well, shit, you bet. If it's all paid for, you can bet your sweet William will be there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for calling. Nashville, here we come.
Charlie, what's paid for? What are you talking about?
Honey,
What is that?
Sue, before he became deceased, Sue laid out the money for recording a whole album at a studio in Dayton.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He paid for everything. He paid the technicians and the engineers of the tape, and he got a producer and everything, honey.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Nashville, here we come.
Charlie, I am going to get to be a superstar. I am.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how our life just does a turnaround like that? Isn't it? I ain't no more a not a complete type man,
No,
and you ain't no more an undiscovered singing genius either. Oh, sweetheart. Mm.
Woo!
Honey, guess what?
I know, you don't have to tell me. Your
2.5 minutes is up.
Well, today is a bit of a relief. Wanda comes to Mary to deal with the guilt that she's feeling and her lisp. For some reason, Mary continues to suggest that Bob Gilroy is the best guy. You know, they did a rule of threes on me. They did 3 visits with Bob Gilroy. I mean, over the last 2 seasons that end exactly the same way. And then, of course, they set us up to expect the same thing. And it turns out that Bob Gilroy's screwed upness is exactly what fixed Wanda. So I think that's that gag. Wow, they got me with that one. They just got me hard with that. We know that Wanda's feeling the guilt. I wonder what Wanda knows about Merle's situation. I mean, it was public news. You know, it was on the television and in the newspaper. So Wanda knows that he was out there working and that he got busted with Big Honey. I mean, she should know if she's any kind of basically aware human being. But she still feels guilt over her connection with Annie. And I can imagine that being something worth being guilty for, you know, that she has feelings for someone else. She hasn't stated it, she's still feeling it, and she's still thinking about it. I think it's fun that Gilroy says, well, a little homosexual behavior is fine, but on your wedding night? And, you know, I just love that turn where Wanda's like, I fixed my lisp. I can speak normally. So that was fun. And then we see what I believe is the return of the Reverend Standfast, who might not have been seen since, I think, the hostage episodes last season, which I got in rerun season. So if you want to go back and watch that, go look at rerun season. I forget which episode it is, but it's one of the rerun season episodes, and Reverend Standfast freed Mary from the hostage crisis. But here he is again, suggesting that George is not a cult member. And then George comes out in full Boccazini mode, and we pull out to see that Martha has nothing in the home. There's no kitchen table there. I didn't quite catch when we were first seeing them together. Yeah, there's none of the normal furniture that we normally see. And George's fortitude is not what the Reverend believes. And speaking of fortitude, Tom is still desperate for some kind of loan. I don't know what kind of expenditures he's been doing, but it's bad news. Merle's looking for a new car, and Tom is trying to hook into any source of money that he can get. And he even takes up the bill when Merle leaves for 80 cents. A can of Tab was 40 cents at the time, I suppose, at a bar. And he can't pay it in cash, so he charges it, which is really bad news, because we are seeing exactly how desperate Tom is. I think we are going to be hitting another rock bottom. Last season's rock bottom was a lot more visible. You know, he was walking around looking like a hobo. And now he is well put together. We thought he was mature. At least some of our commenters definitely felt like the new look was a sign of maturity, but it's not. And speaking as a person who has dealt with some money issues, there's a lot to deal with. It's emotional and painful. This is where Tom is. He's heading toward a new rock bottom. And then Loretta and Charlie, who are as high as they've been. Quite suggestive scene for them in the shower, or approaching the shower, and I can only think of the steam getting steamier and them singing Amazing Grace. That is 70s television speak for they're having sex now, which is about as close as you could get. Nowadays you can see thrusting, so the implication is less implied. I'm glad, because their affection is really nice. And that moment of repose after the shower, Charlie is dealing with his refractory period, 2.5 minutes. And wow, that's better than any time I've ever had. They get a call during that refractory period, and it appears that Sue's calls out to recording studios have borne some fruit. And I'm curious what this is going to mean for them, because Sue wanted to bring Loretta into the mob, essentially, as a performer. And I don't know what that's going to mean. Sue is dead, and we still haven't explained what happened to Charlie in that time since then. Did Charlie just run off? I don't know that we will explain that. I kind of want to know. Not kinda, I want to know what happened. I'm very, I feel a missing piece of the puzzle is there. And maybe it's one that will just be ignored, but I really want to know what that puzzle piece would have been. Why was Sue murdered in the first place? Other than getting rid of a character or having less payroll for potential characters to return. You know, we've seen Bob Gilroy or Reverend Standfast come back. You know, maybe we'll see Jesus Herrera come back from the news station. We haven't seen him since the hostage crisis either. Yeah, what happened to Sue? I have no idea. So I'm hoping that we'll see, I mean, in place of Sue, we may see some other characters, you know, when we get to the recording studio in Dayton. And I suppose that will just be mystery for us for now. So everyone, that is Tuesday's episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you so much for coming back with me, watching the show, sharing your thoughts and comments, being here, watching me react to the show. Thank you so much for having a party with me. And we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.